Hello again, CASA friends. Let's talk about reptiles. Reptiles are a class of animals that is part of the animal kingdom. The animal kingdom includes all of the animals on planet Earth. Reptiles belong to a phylum or group of the animal kingdom called vertebrates. Vertebrates are animals with backbones. There are 5 classes of animals in the vertebrate phylum: amphibians, mammals, birds, fish, and reptiles. So reptiles are a class of animals belonging to the vertebrate phylum of the animal kingdom. Let's take a closer look at reptiles, shall we? The main reptile categories are snakes, lizards, tortoises, turtles, in case you were wondering, the major difference between tortoises and turtles is that tortoises dwell on land, while turtles live in the water some or nearly all of the time. Alligators, yikes, what are you looking at? And crocodiles. If you want to tell the difference between an alligator and a crocodile, just look at the snout and the color of the animal. Crocodiles have longer, narrower snouts, and alligators have shorter, thicker snouts. Crocodiles are lighter in color, while alligators are dark. There are more than 8,200 living species of reptiles. Wow, that's a lot of reptiles. Some examples of different reptile species are Komodo dragons, Arunachal pit vipers, tokay geckos, red-eared pond sliders, rattlesnakes, Nile crocodiles, and Grand Cayman's very own blue iguana. But all reptiles, no matter the species, have certain characteristics in common. This means that they have things about them that are the same. And these commonalities, these things that are the same, have led scientists to group all of these species together into one class called reptiles. So let's go ahead and learn some facts about reptiles now, and the common characteristics that all reptiles share. Basically, we're going to answer the question, what makes a reptile a reptile? Reptiles are oviparous. Oviparous means that they hatch from eggs. The first part of the word oviparous is ove, just like in the words oval and ovoid. So it's easy to remember that oviparous animals hatch from eggs because what shape is an egg? You got it. Eggs are ovoids. All reptiles lay hard-shelled eggs on dry land. Even turtles that spend most of their lives in the water come back to dry land to lay their eggs. In fact, an adult turtle travels back to the very same beach where it hatched from its shell to lay its own eggs. Reptiles are born on land, and they are also born with strong instincts. They sure need them because adult reptiles lay their eggs in a simple nest and then leave. The reptile babies hatch days to months later, ready to fend for themselves with no parents around to help them. Young reptiles can glide, walk, and swim within hours after their birth. And after they hatch, most reptiles live their entire life on dry land. Sure, this guy's hanging out in a tree, but the tree is on land, so that still counts. Some types of reptiles are adapted to living in water, like sea turtles, but as I just mentioned, even these species come onto dry land to lay their eggs. And you can find reptiles living on every single continent of planet Earth with the exception of Antarctica. Reptiles do not live in Antarctica, and there's a very good reason. Reptiles are cold-blooded. Unlike birds and mammals, reptiles do not maintain a constant internal body temperature automatically and on their own. A reptile's body reacts to the temperature of its environment. So, reptiles have to use their surroundings to keep their bodies at the right temperature. When they get too warm, they go into the water or shade to cool off. When they get too cold, they can hang out in the sun to warm themselves up. This is called basking, and you can often spot the reptiles in Grand Cayman basking in the sun on treetops, rocks, and sometimes even in the middle of the road. Not the smartest place to go basking, if I do say so myself. But now you understand why reptiles do not live in Antarctica. They would have no way to warm their bodies up in such a cold environment because they are cold-blooded. Reptiles are vertebrates. They are part of a larger group of animals in the animal kingdom called vertebrates that have backbones or spinal columns. Can you see the backbone in this X-ray of a lizard? I wonder what type of lizard that is. Reptiles have scales. A reptile's body is covered in scales, bony plates, or a combination of both. These scales can be hard or soft, large or small, smooth or rough or bumpy or pointy, and they come in a huge variety of colors, as you can see. Most reptiles are carnivores. This means that they eat meat or other animals, if you will. Lizards mostly eat insects. Snakes enjoy eating small mammals, and crocodiles and alligators can eat some pretty large animals. For example, the diet of the Nile crocodile is mainly fish, but it will attack almost anything unfortunate to cross its path, including zebras, wildebeests, small hippos, and even porcupines. Crunchy! Carnivorous reptiles tend to swallow their prey whole, and they only use their teeth to hold their prey. This guy has had an enormous lunch today. Of course, not all reptiles are carnivores. For example, iguanas are herbivores, and they only eat plants. He'll take the salad for lunch, please. Dressing on the side. Reptiles have lungs. And guess what? They use them to breathe. Even reptiles like green sea turtles that spend most of their time in the water have to return to the surface of the water to take breaths into their lungs. Unlike fish that breathe underwater through their gills, or many amphibians that can breathe through their skin. Last but not least, reptiles have been around on planet Earth for a really long time. About 320 million years, according to scientists. And did you know that the dinosaurs were reptiles? The word dinosaur comes from a language called Greek and means fearfully great lizard. Well, cast of friends, this brings us to the end of our video lesson on reptiles. I really hope that you enjoyed taking a closer look at this super cool class of animals from the animal kingdom with me today. See you again soon!